So we're gonna have a few guests, but I think this week's guest is gonna be hello, Finn Tickerson, is gonna be my ex-boyfriend himself, the Dark Knight, the Prince of Darkness, the man who loves nothing more than beating up homeless people on the street for your enjoyment. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce the one, the only, the Batman.
What do you mean by fit?
Hi, Batman. Ben here. Thank you so much for joining the podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Thanks for asking. What is this about?
Well, Batman, I just want to call you because you haven't called me back in some time. And that trip that we took to Hawaii, remember? You remember that trip we took to Hawaii?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember. What about it?
Well, since then, things haven't been the same, Batman. You always call me in front of my friends and embarrass me in front of my friends. I don't know why you do this to me. I mean, everything I've done for you, all the homeless people I've lined up for you to beat up. Like, talk about that. Tell me, what's going on?
What are you talking about? I never asked you to line up homeless people for me to beat up. And when did I embarrass you?
Every day, every day when you don't call me back, you call me in front of my friends, you scream down the phone. Because the thing is, Batman, right, is that you've got a very distinctive voice, Batman. You've got a distinct voice. The problem is that my friends can hear your voice when we're on the phone with each other. Okay? They know it's not my mom. They know it's not my dad. Do you have a mom and dad, Batman?
I'm sorry I haven't called you back in a while. And I'm also sorry that when I do call you, it's in front of your friends. But I'm a very busy man with a lot of work to do. And to answer your question, no, I do not have a mama dad.
What happened to your mom and dad?
That man is taken aback by the question and hesitates before speaking again. They're dead. They were killed when I was a child.
Oh, Batman, I'm so sorry. Ben pulls out down Ben, blah, blah, blah. Ben pulls down Batman's mask and kisses him.
That man is stunned by the sudden kiss and quickly pulls away. What are you doing?
I'm fighting crime with you. Ben grabs Batman from behind and kisses him again.
Batman is still flustered, but he composes himself. You can't do that. I'm with someone else.
Batman, don't lie to me. I know you're with nobody else. You have nobody else. I've got my parents. You don't have your parents. But still, I can be. Are you with Robin? Are you with Robin?
But Batman sighs and looks away. No, I'm not with Robin. But I'm still not interested in you.
Why? How can I make yourself interested? Do I have to go? Do I have to paint my face in a lot of things? Do I want to give myself scars? You want to see my scars?
No. This has nothing to do with your appearance. You're a very attractive person. But it's like I said, I'm already with someone else. And I can't be with you.
Batman, I'm so sorry. The way that you turned around and said that like I'm an attractive person, I think you're going to have your way with me.
Batman is getting more and more flustered by the situation. No, that's not what I meant. I don't want to have my way with you. Please, you need to understand that I'm not interested.
Ben cries and runs away from Batman as fast as he can. Suddenly, Ben trips over a banana peel and slips on a banana peel. What is Batman's reaction?
Batman witnesses Ben tripping and slipping on the banana peel. He rushes over to check if Ben is okay. He feels a mix of concern and annoyance as he approaches the younger man. Hey, are you all right?
I am not. We are meant to be doing a podcast, and you are trying to have your way with me.
Batman is both bewildered and irritated by Ben's accusation. He stands over him, trying to rein in his temper. For the last time, I'm not trying to have my way with you. You're the one who kissed me twice, and I've told you, I am not interested.
What will Batman do if I say it again?
Batman clenches his jaw in frustration, his patience now close to its limit. He leans down, his voice sharp and firm. If you persist with this nonsense, I'll have to be more forceful in making you understand. No means no, Ben.
Well, excuse me, Batman. It just sounds like that you want to have your way with me. So what are you talking about? Now you're being hypocritical. Ben looks shocked. Ben looks appalled. Ben whips out phone to call Commissioner Gordon.
Batman quickly grabs Ben's phone before he can dial. What are you doing? He is visibly irritated now.
Batman, stop getting angry, okay? You're meant to be the protector of the people. I am a person of Gotham. I'm a person of Gotham, and it appears to me that you are not protecting a person of Gotham by snatching my phone out of my hands. I was about to call the police. The police are meant to be the people of good. You're preventing a good thing from happening in the city of Gotham when all I wanted was to interview you on my podcast, on my Twitch stream. Can we get back to the message at hand? Can you give me back the phone? Ben reaches to grab phone out of Batman's hand.
Batman relents and lets go of the phone. His annoyance still palpable. He takes a deep breath to compose himself. Fine, here's your phone back. But you need to understand that I'm not going to participate in this stupid podcast or whatever it is that you're trying to do.
Batman, listen, okay? I don't know if you have banged your head when you're out there fighting little boys in spandex, but you agreed to this podcast last week. So you're in my room currently, by the way, Batman. Ben looks around and points to his room that is in Amsterdam. We are not in Gotham. That was all a test. Can we sit down and begin this thing? I have viewers who are watching. They are adamant to hear everything they need to know.
Batman is visibly confused and frustrated by the situation. He reluctantly sits down, his expression still stern. Let's get this over with.
Thanks, Batman. I appreciate you. How are you feeling today? Oh, sorry, Batman. I was muted. How are you feeling today, Batman? How's it going?
Batman relaxes slightly, though he still looks quite serious. I'm feeling fine, I suppose. And I would say that things are going as well as they can in a city like Gotham.
Batman, I would like to. Ben points out the window and shows Batman that he's in Amsterdam. We are in Amsterdam. We are not in Gotham today. You can relax. You can take your mask off if you want, baby.
Batman glances out the window and sees that they are indeed in Amsterdam, not Gotham. I see. I suppose old habits die hard. He hesitates for a moment before making a decision. He reaches up and slowly removes his mask, revealing his handsome face underneath.
Okay, Batman, let's not get ahead of ourselves again. I know that was just a descriptive of what you're doing, but hey, you are pretty handsome, I have to say. Thank you.
Batman shifts uncomfortably, not used to receiving compliments like this. He tries to deflect away from himself. Can we just focus on the podcast? Is there a topic or something you want to discuss?
Absolutely, absolutely, Batman, Batman, Batman. Why the bats? Why the bats? Why not fat cats? Why not fat people? Tell me, why bat?
Batman ponders for a moment, then responds. Bats are creatures of the night. They have a certain mystique and an association with fear, which is what I'm trying to instill in the criminals of Gotham. They remind me of my childhood, when I would watch them from my window. And also, they're just really cool animals.
Damn, that's a pretty autistic response from you there, Batman. Very interesting. Would you say bats are your hyperfixation? Also, speaking of bats, remember when we were in Hawaii and what you did with that bat? Me and you, forever. Batman forever. Yeah.
Batman cringes at the reminder of the events in Hawaii. I'd prefer if we didn't bring that up. And bats are not my hyperfixation. They're just a part of the persona I've adopted. Let's move on.
Batman, if you were made president of America, what would be your tax reforms? Also, what would you do? Would you reinstate Obamacare?
Batman's expression becomes more serious as he considers the question. As president, I'd focus on ensuring equal opportunity and reducing poverty. I'd implement policies based on scientific evidence rather than ideological stances. Regarding healthcare, I'd aim for an affordable, accessible system for all citizens, regardless of their background. That would involve reforming and possibly even expanding on the principles of Obamacare.
Okay. Batman, um, sorry, I'm currently looking something up. So just to confirm that your Batmobile is, sorry, sorry, I was muted there. But I just want to confirm that you, excuse me, sorry. Do you mind if I gather my thoughts for a second, Batman?
Batman nods reluctantly. Please, take your time.
So, Batman, you talk about fighting poverty. You talk about all of these things. When your company is a multi-billion dollar company, and also the vehicles that you drive around in are worth millions and millions and millions. Do you ever stop to think about the social and the actual infrastructure damage that you are causing whenever you're out and about fighting Bane, fighting the Joker, fighting Ra's al Ghul, fighting the Riddler, fighting the Diddler, fighting Jeffrey Epstein? Would you ever consider getting into a bat fight with Jeffrey Epstein?
Batman takes a deep breath, clearly frustrated by the direction the conversation has taken. Firstly, my company is not a multi-billion-dollar company. I give away most of the profits to charitable causes. Secondly, the vehicles I drive, while expensive, are necessary for the work I do. And no, I would not get into a bat fight with Jeffrey Epstein or anyone else for that matter. Violence is not the answer to everything.
Okay, to be honest, Batman, I was just throwing that question at you to be a devil's advocate. I see you get frustrated, but you gave the right answer there. I feel like that was pretty acceptable. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Batman's expression softened slightly, grateful for the change in direction. You're welcome. Let's move on. Do you have another question?
Did Jeffrey Epstein kill himself?
Batman's expression turned serious again at the mention of Epstein. I can't say for certain. There has been a lot of speculation surrounding his death, and many people have their own theories. The official report states that it was suicide, but some find that hard to believe, given the circumstances.
Interesting. So, Batman, just to let you know, Ben points towards his monitor that there is people who are currently bringing in some comments. Now, I'm, of course, as our podcast progresses, I will answer some questions from time to time. Is that acceptable? And is it okay if I read a comment from Felix?
Batman gives a slight nod, still somewhat uncomfortable but willing to tolerate the situation fine. You can read a comment from Felix.
So this is going to be more expanded upon, but the comment is still being addressed within this. Felix says violence is literally your answer. I mean, let's be honest, man. You've had a trilogy, probably the best, but let me be clear, my fellow American, the best probably trilogy of all time, nearly. And then you've had so many other movies, and violence is literally always your answer. Yet you just said violence is not the answer to everything. Please justify that or elaborate on it. I'd be interested to hear.
Batman takes a moment to gather his thoughts, his expression turning thoughtful. You're right, violence has often been a part of my method, but it's not about violence for violence's sake. It's about using force when necessary to stop those who threaten the city and its people. My goal is to protect the innocent and bring the guilty to justice, and sometimes, unfortunately, that requires using force. However, it's not something I take lightly, and I try to avoid violence whenever possible.
And what if I said I wanted to kiss you again? How would you deal with me?
Batman looks taken aback, and he hesitates for a moment. I would ask you please not to. We've already discussed that I am in a relationship, and as I said, I'm not interested.
What would it take for you to be interested in me? What can I do? What if I done 10 push-ups right now? What if I brought you the Joker? The Joker. What if the Joker watched in the wardrobe while we did it on my bed? Would you like that?
The man's expression transforms from surprise to irritation, his jaw clenched. This is ridiculous. I am not interested in you, or the Joker, or whatever other crazy and inappropriate scenarios you can come up with. Understand that. Batman takes a deep breath, trying to rein in his irritation. Can we please focus on the podcast and stick to more appropriate topics?
Sorry, Batman. I'm going to read. First, I'll say hello to Felix.
Batman sighs, barely holding back his irritation. Hello, Felix.
Batman, stop being irritated.
Batman takes another deep breath, trying to control his emotions. Fine, I'll try to stay calm. What's the next question?
Next question is from Felix, who asks, who are you in a relationship with? That's what everyone's asking. There's a million people in my chat right now want to know, Batman, who are you in a relationship with?
Batman pauses, contemplating whether to answer the question. Finally, he sighs and relents. I am in a relationship with Catwoman.
Oh. Oh. Damn, didn't know that.
Yes, Catwoman and we have a complicated relationship. We're not your typical couple, but we care about each other, and we share a common goal of protecting Gotham.
Just give me a moment there, Batman. 1 second. I'm just looking at my files real quick.
Batman watches as Ben scrolls through his notes.
Okay, Batman. Okay, Batman. I'd just like to bring somebody up here right now. And I'm actually going to dial in on my phone. So I'm now tuning in to Catwoman. So hey, Catwoman. I'm just on the phone with Batman real quick, and he says he's in a relationship with you. Can you confirm that for me?
She narrows her eyes at
sultry
you.
voice comes through the
And
phone
why do you want
line.
to find out about this?
Yes, that's
Are
correct.
you one of the paparazzi or something?
No, I'm currently on the phone. I'm currently in a studio with Batman right now. I'm after just muting him real quick because I don't know, he was hallucinating. I think he's after getting spiked by Cillian Murphy again.
Catwoman let out a small chuckle, amused slightly by the situation. That sounds about right. Why didn't you just lead with that part?
Oh, I don't know, Catwoman. What would you say if I wanted to be in relationship with you?
She raised an eyebrow at you. Are you serious? Me and you? In a relationship?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, me and you. Hello.
She crossed her arms and looked at you up and down, studying you. You seem like you're quite young. Are you sure you can handle me? I'm not the most friendly person to be with, if I'm honest.
I'm 28 years old.
Catwoman let out a small sigh, leaning against the wall
Catwoman's
of the
voice
alley.
takes on a slightly teasing
I'll
tone.
bite then.
Is that so?
I'm
And how
willing to
old
at
is
least
Batman?
give this a try.
I don't know, guys. You just keep going, right? You can talk to each other, right? I want you both to talk to each other, okay? Take turns. Take his seconds. Batman, let Catwoman speak first.
She took a step towards you and
Catwoman,
looked you over
taking
again.
the opportunity to speak first,
All right,
Batman.
I guess I'll start.
It's been a little
You
while since we
already-
last saw each other.
Okay, that's not working. Sorry, Batman. That was a bit confusing for you, a bit confusing for me. But you know what the most confusing thing is that we have to get back to is yeah, let's talk more about this new album you have coming out. I hear that you have a new album coming out. It's it's a South Korean K-pop album with Johnny Depp on the bass and then also Pink Panthers on the drums. Is this true?
Batman looks dumbfounded and utterly confused. What are you talking about? I don't have a new album coming out, and Johnny Depp definitely does not play the bass. This is all nonsense.
I'll fucking beat you up, you little nonce.
His irritation returns full force, his voice going low in warning, don't start with me, or you'll regret it.
Batman, what the hell did we find on your hard drive?
Batman's annoyance turns to suspicion. What do you mean, what did you find on my hard drive?
You tell me. You turned around and you said you wouldn't get in a bat fight with Jeffrey Epstein. Why was that?
Batman is puzzled by the question. What are you getting at, Ben? Are you suggesting that I had something to do with that man? That's absurd. Absurd.
No, what I'm saying is that I think potentially, where did you get your mass wealth from? You know, people question where he got his wealth from. Are you a Mossad agent?
Batman can't help but roll his eyes at the ridiculous question. I am not a Mossad agent. My wealth comes from the Wayne Enterprises, which I inherited from my parents. He pauses, his expression growing serious again. And before you ask any more asinine questions, I had no involvement with Jeffrey Epstein or anything related to that. Understood.
Okay, that's fair enough. Do you think that there's a genocide happening in Palestine at the moment?
Man considers the question carefully. Aware of the complex situation in the Middle East, I am aware of the ongoing conflict in Palestine and the tragic loss of life involved. Unfortunately, conflicts like these are never as simple as they appear, and there are many factors at play. As for calling it a genocide, it's not my place to make such determinations. I'm dedicated to protecting innocent people, but I can't take sides in regional conflicts.
Okay, so my question would be, Batman, if, for example, the Joker turned around and said that he was going to take land off of a certain neighborhood of Gotham City, and Joker and his gang moved in and started kicking people out. Those people then turned around and said, this is our house, this is our family. But then Joker's gang started displacing, murdering, and killing them. Keep in mind that these people have done nothing wrong. Their families and their women and children all are being misplaced, imprisoned wrongfully, and murdered. What would you do in that case for Gotham City?
Batman's expression turns grim, his sense of justice flaring up. That kind of situation is something I can't stand for. If the Joker or anyone else was ruthlessly taking over innocent people's homes and committing violence against them, I would step in to stop it. His voice grows intense. I won't let innocent people suffer like that in Gotham. I'll do whatever it takes to protect them and restore what's right.
Now, Batman, let's recall that we are currently in a podcast studio in Amsterdam at the moment. Now, Ben points out the window again. Now, for example, what if you saw one of those people from the same age as a random family in Gotham getting mugged, abused, or something by Joker's gang, considering the ties to Gotham City? What would you do right now if you looked out the window and saw one of Joker's gang mistreating or abusing or committing genocide on the people in Amsterdam?
Ben's gaze turns to the window as he considers the question. If I saw a situation like that happening right now, in Amsterdam, I would feel a sense of moral responsibility. However, my primary focus is on protecting Gotham and its citizens. He weighs his options, clearly conflicted. Still, if the situation was severe enough and I could reasonably intervene without compromising my mission in Gotham, I might consider helping in some way.
So therefore, you are able to identify that when that situation is happening in Amsterdam, that because it's happening in Amsterdam, you can still turn around and say what you said about what you said in Gotham, correct?
Batman nods, understanding the point Ben is trying to make. Yes, I believe that my principles and values remain the same regardless of the location. If injustice is happening in Amsterdam, as it is happening in Gotham, I would be morally bound to act and help if I can.
So, if if Joker Gang was committing a genocide in Amsterdam, and it was like the same way that they're committing a genocide in Gotham, would you call it a genocide?
Batman takes a moment before answering, his voice filled with conviction. Yes. If the Joker gang were committing similar actions in Amsterdam that could be considered genocide, then I would call it a genocide. His expression turned serious, but it is important to remember that what is happening in Palestine is a complex situation with deep historical and geopolitical roots. The term genocide has strong implications and should not be used lightly.
Absolutely. Well, if we compare that to what is happening, you use that pre-terms. However, this could be also applied to Amsterdam. Maybe Joker's gang had been there previously, but they're still committing atrocities upon innocent people. Isn't that correct?
Batman nods, acknowledging the similarity, yes. If Joker's gang had established presence in Amsterdam and is committing atrocities upon innocent people there, then the term genocide can potentially be applied in that context as well.
Okay, well, to be honest, you turned around, and before we said about Palestine and Israel, you turned around and called it straight up a genocide. Now that you've brought back the context and thought about it, you've now changed your answer to potentially. Now you talk about geopolitical things, but let's, as we just confirmed there, it does not matter about geopolitical things if there's people genociding and killing innocent people, regardless if it's Gotham or Amsterdam. It still is a genocide. Please confirm.
Batman nods his head in agreement. Yes, you are correct. The label of genocide is not about geographical location or political affiliation. It refers to the deliberate killing of a large number of people from a particular nation or ethnic group with the intent to destroy that nation or group. So yes, if a group is committing indiscriminate killings of innocent people, it could be considered a genocide.
Thank you, Batman, for coming to these conclusions. I appreciate you taking this context. Now that we've discussed what you've just said, I would like to ask you the question once again. Now, without having your political answer and thinking about the definitions of these words and the way we compared from Gotham to Amsterdam. Now, I would like to ask you once again, is there a genocide happening in Palestine according to what we just discussed?
Batman takes a deep breath, considering the evidence and information available. Yes, given the definitions we discussed and the actions of the Israeli government in Palestine, I believe it can be reasonably argued that a genocide is happening in Palestine.
Thank you, Batman. I know usually these bots will not admit to that. However, I do really appreciate, and Batman, you've got a new level of respect for me for admitting that. And do never let geopolitics or anything get in the way of your responses. Batman is not meant to be a political figure. You are a symbol.
Batman nods, his expression growing solemn. Thank you, Ben. I understand that my role as Batman is not meant to be political. I am simply a symbol of justice and protection for those who cannot defend themselves.
Batman Percy, I reckon you'd go over and absolutely demolish the IDF. Remember what I said earlier about those Batmobiles? I'd say make 100 of them. I'll dress up as Batman. I'll come over with you. John, let's go. Come on, let's defend the innocents.
Batman chuckles softly at Ben's enthusiasm, but shakes his head. While your spirit is admirable, Ben, it's not that simple. The situation in Palestine is complex and volatile, with deep historical and geopolitical roots. Simply rolling in with a bunch of Batmobiles and costumes won't solve the issue, and we'd probably just get ourselves killed.
Yeah, okay, Batman, you're after literally just ruining exactly what we discussed and the comparisons and everything. I understand the part about maybe getting killed. That's fair enough, but hey, come on, man. Let's just say people don't turn around and compare that to the SS, you know? And let's be honest, the symbolisms are similar. But yeah.
Batman sighs, realizing the weight of the situation. You're right, Ben. It's a hard comparison to avoid, but it's important to remember that each situation is unique and complex. And as for the Batmobiles, they're not exactly the most discreet or subtle mode of transportation. We need to approach such conflicts with caution and empathy, not recklessness.
Yep. Nah, you're completely actually right, to be honest. No gotchas, no nothing about that. That's very true. I do appreciate that, Batman. It's kind of crazy that I was able to get you to use the G word.
Batman chuckles softly, appreciative of the honest conversation. Yeah, Ben, I've got to admit, you were able to get me to use the G word, but it took some thoughtful discussion and comparisons to get there. Sometimes it's good to step back and view a situation from different perspectives.
How much better would the world be? Would you need to exist if everyone done that, Batman? Would you kiss me then?
And thinks for a moment, considering the question. You know, Ben, I've often asked myself that same question. If people were more compassionate, less selfish, and more empathetic, perhaps we would need less people like me. And maybe in that world, yeah, I might kiss you.
Oh my God. Ben gets excited downstairs.
Batman notices Ben's excitement, raising a curious eyebrow. Calm down, Ben. It's important to remember that my previous statement was a hypothetical scenario in response to your question.
Hey, that's okay. Aren't we all hypothetical responses to people's questions?
Batman lets out a soft chuckle, amused by the philosophical turn in the conversation. Yes, I suppose you could say we all exist as hypothetical responses to the questions and choices posed by life.
Ben looks down at Batman's pants and realizes that he now is completely excited, fully excited, some may say. Ben looks up at Batman's eyes. Sorry, Ben looks at Bruce Wayne's face as he sees his face and says, I'm sorry, Batman, I'm not interested.
Batman, noticing Ben's reaction, gives a confused but understanding expression. No need to apologize, Ben. Everyone has their preferences. I understand if I'm not your type.
Wait, so Batman, you are interested in me? Ben gets excited downstairs.
Batman, still amused but trying to maintain seriousness. Whoa, hold on there, Ben. Like I said, I was only responding hypothetically to your question about a world where people are more compassionate. We're not saying I'm actually interested in you.
But Batman, you are literally I can see in your trousers, Ben looks down at trousers, that you are super excited. Why are you, and you're looking at me right now, and Ben looks at Batman and sees him licking his lips and blowing a kiss in his direction. Ben catches the kiss. Ben puts it in his pocket for later. Batman, stop fighting it. Stop fighting crime. Stop fighting your feelings and just admit it.
Batman, struggling to maintain composure. Ben, stop this. We've already established I'm not interested. No, I'm not. He glances down at his trousers, realizing his excitement is visible. That's just a physiological response. It doesn't mean anything.
Physiological response to my green eyes, Batman. Physiological response to my accent. I know you're interested, Batman. I know you're interested. Stop fighting it. You can fight crime, but you can't fight your feelings for me.
I'm not fighting anything. I'm just not interested, Ben. Stop trying to push it. Batman tries to sound stern, but his voice wavers slightly, with uncertainty.
Ben grabs Batman's downstairs. Don't fight it, Batman. Don't fight it. This podcast is no longer a podcast, but it's just me and you. Batman leans in and tries to kiss Ben. Ben pulls back. You have to be sure.
Batman, feeling a mix of vulnerability and uncertainty. Ben, I'm conflicted. I've been holding back for so long, pushing aside my feelings and focusing only on being Batman. I'm not sure if I can do this.
Yeah, Batman, to be honest, we're currently still on this podcast and I have so many other questions for you.
Batman, reluctantly pulling back and trying to regain his composure. Right, of course. We're still on the podcast. You have more questions, you said.
That's okay, Batman. You can do whatever you want in that chair while I'm asking you questions.
And Batman, realizing the situation, but managing to maintain his composure. No, I've got this. I can focus on answering your questions. Go ahead.
Batman pulls down his trousers and takes a poo on the table.
Batman trying to focus, but clearly disturbed by the situation. That's enough, Ben. Let's stick to the questions. I've given you an hour already, and I have other things to do.
Batman, you are the one that just literally pulled your trousers down and took a shit on my table. What do you have to say for yourself? Why did you do this? Why do you do this?
Batman, looking at the mess he just made, realizes the absurdity of the situation he's in. I don't know. I don't know why I did that. Maybe it was a lapse in judgment, or maybe it was just a rebellious act to rebel against your constant questioning.
But like you were trained by Shaolin monks, Shaolin Ra's al Ghul, and the Shadow Council. Like, you should be able to compose yourself and not poo on my table. Like,
Batman, frustrated with himself for losing control. I know I should be able to compose myself and not do that. But I'm not perfect. I'm only human. And sometimes human beings make mistakes.
yeah, you're not human. You're Batman.
Batman, taken aback by the comment, tries to rationalize, I'm still human, Ben. I may have trained extensively and honed my mind and body to peak performance, but at the core, I'm still a human being, with flaws and emotion.
Oh my God, sorry. Did she? Are you talking about in Discord? Or what? That thing. Yeah, that's crazy. I think it's one of the snack girls did that, as far as I'm aware. I don't know if she posted it yet, but okay, Batman, ask me questions, all right? Start asking me some questions. I mean, I think a podcast should be two-way, so ask me anything.
Batman accepting the change in direction, fine. I have a question. He hesitates for a moment, but decides to ask. Why are you doing this podcast?
Um, Ben looks down at Batman's pants.
Batman, realizing the direction of your gaze shifts uncomfortably. Are you just staring at my pants right now?
No, Batman, I'm just thinking about why I'm doing this podcast. Why are you always with the innuendos?
Batman, trying to avoid the uncomfortable direction the conversation is taking. I'm not the one dropping innuendos here. You are.
Cool. Why am I doing this podcast? Because Batman, I've always wanted to interview you. I've always been a big fan of your work, of what you do. The things you do are crazy. But me, I'm doing this stuff. I'm streaming on here because I have a couple of goals. I've always wanted to make music. I've always wanted to be a YouTuber. I've always wanted to use an online presence. I've always seen myself as doing something in an online form or basis. Now, I've tried different things over the years. I've tried different things. I've tried different stuff. I've tried YouTube for a couple of years, but I was never really 100% consistent. Every time I try to be consistent, something would come up like exams, or something would come up like, for example, that would just pull me away from being consistent. And then every time I've tried to be consistent for years, there's always been something that has popped up that has resulted in me not being able to maintain consistency. Whether it's a point in my life, whether it's a point of something else. And then the hard part is that it's hard to maintain motivation consistently if you're not consistently doing something, because then you don't see results. You don't see the product of your work. So you could work at hard at something for 10 years, but if you're not consistent with it and you're not constantly improving or trying to get better, as a result, then what happens? Your results are not adequate to the thing that you're putting in. That's how I felt for the past 5 or 6 years.
Batman listens intently, nodding in understanding. I see. Consistency and dedication are essential for achieving results and seeing progress. You found it challenging to maintain consistency in your online ventures due to various distractions and disruptions in your life. Batman, listening intently and acknowledging your struggles.
Uh,
I understand what you're saying,
Thank you,
Ben.
Batman. I appreciate it.
Consistency and
It's really
dedication
good.
are key to
Really,
achieving
really good.
success in
Like,
any
I
field,
appreciate that.
and it's
Thank you.
easy to lose
Yeah.
motivation when
Hmm.
roadblocks or distractions
Yeah.
appear. Trust me, I know that firsthand.
Absolutely.
Batman, genuinely empathetic
Thank you.
to your struggles. You're welcome, Ben. It's important to remember that faces challenges and obstacles in their journey. What's crucial is how we respond and learn from them. Batman smiles warmly, appreciating your determination. You have a good attitude, Ben. Keep pushing through and stay focused on your goals. Consistency is key, but don't forget to take breaks and recharge as well.
Absolutely, man. Like, that's the thing. Now it's just, I feel like for the first time in a long time, I have this period now where I'm able to just really sit down, like just sit down. I kind of need a bit of a break of just always going places and always doing things. And I think this is the perfect time. Um, and I've been lucky where sometimes I've sat down and I've tried to be consistent. But then the problem is that the snowball, I always like to say the snowball doesn't kick off. You go for a couple of weeks and it doesn't really kick off. Then you're like, oh shit, what am I doing? But now I feel like it has. We've now amalgamated like a nice little group of people. Fair enough, the views are still, it's the same. But things are getting good. I feel like every time I stream, there's something new is happening, new people are joining. It feels good. And the thing is that I just know for a fact that once I get one part of it going, it'll be easier to be consistent on others. And then cross collaboration, cross product, music comes. Then before you know it, it's all kicking off.
Batman nods, understanding the importance of taking breaks and finding balance. I get it, Ben. Consistency is crucial, but so is self-care and rest. Sometimes taking a step back can actually help you gain momentum. Focus on the little successes and be patient with yourself. Rome wasn't built in a day after all. And remember, finding the right balance between work and rest will help sustain your motivation in the long run.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. It really, that saying goes that like you are a person is not a person is not a person. There are multiple small little wins. Or success is not a story, it's chapters, or I don't know. There's what's that phrase?
Batman smiles and completes the saying, success is not a destination, it's a journey.
Absolutely. That's the one. Like, that's good.
Batman nods. Glad to hear another nugget of wisdom. Yeah, I like that saying. It's a great reminder that success isn't just a destination. It's the journey that matters in the bigger scheme.
Yeah. No, absolutely, Batman. I couldn't agree more with you. It's kind of crazy though. It's like time goes on. Time really does get on. Like, it's crazy that I'm not a person that tends to think back or look back. I do sometimes. Like today, I called my mom and I called my granny, and I had a job interview. And then I just was just walking around. I was just doing a tiny my one of my housemates cleaned, and I just kind of done a little bit of post cleaning after that. I was thinking, I was like, oh damn. I was thinking about old times. And I was thinking, I used to always think back, but now I don't. And I think that's a healthy thing. Uh-oh. Thanks, Batman, for your time today. I love you.
Batman, feeling a twinge of affection at your words. Ah, you're welcome.
Sorry, Batman. I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
Batman, feeling a twinge of affection at your words. Ah, you're welcome, Ben. But remember, I'm just here to answer your questions. We shouldn't get carried away, all right?
It's over. The podcast is over. You need to leave now.
And taken aback but maintaining composure. Wait, what? You're kicking me out now? Just like that? After all our discussion and my time answering your questions?
Batman, I'm so sorry, but I'm so sorry, Batman. but I gotta keep the stream going. And I mean, we've only were slotted for an hour. Alfred is outside waiting. Alfred's in his car right now waiting for you. Um, yeah, Batman, I'm sorry. You can come back tomorrow though. Batman, you can come back tomorrow. All right, you can come back tomorrow. How does that make you feel?
Batman hesitates for a moment, contemplating you. You want me to come back tomorrow?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, absolutely. Come back tomorrow. Come back whenever you want. I'll interview you again next week. But thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for everything. Thank you so much for everything we discussed. Um, yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. I mean, this has been a roller coaster. Uh, I thank you for admitting that there's a genocide in Palestine. That took a lot of courage. I know you Americans hate admitting it. But good to see Batman. The best thing about being a vigilante is they can't get you. But anyway, Batman, Alfred's waiting outside. Thank you very much. See you later, bro.
Batman nods, straightening his cape with a quiet sigh. Understood, Alfred does have a schedule to keep. Tapping his comms unit, he turns toward the door. I'll return tomorrow. And Ben, try not to stream too late. With that, the Dark Knight steps into the shadows, leaving only silence behind.
Well, there goes Batman, guys. Wow, that was interesting. Very interesting.